Hello, Julie here from funcraftstodoathome.com. This video is about how to make these very pretty glass pendants when you don't have a base for them. So if you don't have any bezels or trays, this is a very easy way to make some very attractive pendants. So I'm just going to go through some of the things most of the things that you're going to need to make these pendants. First of all, you're going to need some images to cut out. These are some that I designed myself. You are also going to need a 1-inch hole punch. And you will need some double-sided sticky tape. You're going to need some craft wire. This one's 22 gauge. You will need some glass domes and some split rings to hang your pendants. Some epoxy resin domes, a pair of scissors, some 1-inch circles cut out of card of your choice. So I'm just going to go through those things individually quickly. So these are the designs that I did. They are available in my Etsy shop should you want to use them. You're going to need a 1-inch hole punch and some glass domes. I am going to put some links on my blog to show you where you can get hold of these things. This is the craft wire, which is 22 gauge. You can use heavier if you wish. And these are the cardboard cutouts that you will need for the backing, which you can create using the 1-inch hole punch. These are the epoxy resin domes, which again I will leave a link for on my blog so that you know where to get them. You're also going to need some double-sided tape. Any double-sided craft tape will do. Some split rings, either silver or gold coloured or even black, it's up to you. I use Anita's clear gloss, 3D clear gloss, to stick my images onto the glass. So the first thing you do is cut out your images, whatever they may be, so that you can get them into the hole punch easily. Turn your hole punch upside down, and then you can see where you're going to punch. Make sure there's no white areas. Just have a good look and make sure that you've got the entire image. Punch those out. These are the 3 that I've chosen. Got a Buddha there and a fossil and King Tut. So the next thing you need to do is take your first glass dome and put a little bit of clear gloss glue on there. You don't need much because you don't want it to squish out all over the place. Take your first image and stick it to the flat side of the dome, the image showing through. You will see the glue spread out, and you want it ideally to spread just to the edges and no further, but sometimes it does squish out. If it squishes out and dries, you can clean it up with lighter fluid, it's not a problem. So here are the 3 that I've made. I've put the domes on all 3 of my images. The next thing that you need to do is to put some double-sided tape on the flat side of your domes. So here's mine, my first one. I put 2 strips across, just using this double-sided craft tape. And then once you've done that, you're going to need to take a pair of sharp scissors and cut around so that you make sure you cut all of the excess off. And then you need to take some of your craft wire and cut 3. Well, I've cut 3 pieces because I've made 3 pendants, but obviously 1 piece for each pendant. About a couple of inches long each one. So there are my 3. And then you need to bend them round to make loops. So these are going to form the loops that you put your split rings on to hang your pendants from. So just make a nice neat loop. It doesn't need to be too big. And then twist the ends around as neatly and tightly as you can. And then once you've got a small length that is twisted and won't come undone, just take a pair of scissors and then just cut the ends off. So you need to peel the backing off the double-sided tape on the back of your first dome, and then with the image facing you so you can see where you're going to put the loop, just stick the loop into place. Just push it down and reposition if you have to. So that's my first one done, and now I've done my second one. Just give that a push down with a pair of scissors to make sure it's firmly in place. And then after this you need to secure those wires. So to do that you cut more double-sided tape, and then very, very firmly you need to stick that over the twisted end of the wire and push it down very, very firmly. Use your thumbnail to get in beside the wire to make sure that the sticky tape is really, really stuck down hard and isn't going to come off. And then peel that backing off. Now this is where you're going to take the circles that you punched out of card, and you're going to take one of the epoxy resin stickers and place on to one of the cardboard circles. I've used shiny silver card here because sometimes if you get an overlap when you're putting these circles onto the back of your glass domes, very occasionally you will get a slight overlap, and if you've got nice shiny card that doesn't really matter because the card sort of shines through and it looks like it's part of the design. Then just take another piece of double-sided tape and stick that in on the side that's going to stick on your dome. This is just for added stickiness. And then peel that back off. And very, very carefully stick your nice shiny resin dome onto the back of the pendant. And this finishes the pendant off really nicely. You could even put another image, you could stick another image under that dome if you wanted to, but I don't bother because nobody really ever sees that side of the pendant anyway. And I did actually get a very slight overlap at the top here, as you can see. It doesn't matter because you've got that nice shininess from the silver card and it just looks like part of the design. So stick that down really, really firmly. And there you have your glass pendant with no bezel and no tray. So the next thing you need to do is put on your split rings. So there's my 3 ready for the split rings. And then once you've done that, they're ready to hang. And you can hang these on leather thongs or gold, silver or black chains, or even rolled black elastic looks really good. If you like these designs, they are available in my Etsy shop. They're not that expensive and you can use them as many times as you want to. I will be putting a link onto my blog post about this. I'll put a link to the blog post at the end. So if you want to make these exact pendants, you can buy the images. If you want to use your own images but you need to know where to buy the domes, for example, there will be a link on my blog post telling you where that you can get the domes and the epoxy stickers. Thank you very much for watching and hope to see you in the next video. Bye!